Welcome to CoBB, Conversations on the Business of Brands with Sudeep Chawla and Sharan Raghavan.
I've been tracking what's happening on the AI front, Sudeep, and I love this saying that AI is not going to steal any jobs, but people who do not know how to use AI will lose their jobs for sure.
No,
What's your take on it?
it's an interesting one. In fact, this has been one of the discussion points in many classes that I have taken,
Mhm.
as well as many panel discussions that I've participated in.
Hmm.
And, I have developed my view basis whatever I have experienced plus whatever I have heard on those panels. And I kind of agree with what you said. Uh, you know, through the history of human evolution, no evolution has led to an unemployment.
Hmm.
Every evolution has led to more and better employment. I think such is the case with AI also.
I think that's the key, right? Because a lot of people are thinking of losing jobs. But the fact is, we've seen at every stage of evolution, be it the industrial revolution or the computers coming in, work has just improved with the mundane being given away to the machines.
Correct.
And I don't think it's going to be any very different from here. But how does it happen in marketing? As it is, I say marketers don't have much to do, brand managers. So what are they going to do with AI?
Again, I keep quoting him. So Naval Ravikant has this fundamental which says that human beings are born to do creative work. So his hypothesis is that over a period of time, with all kind of technological inventions, all kind of mundane, routine, non-value adding work is getting eliminated.
Hmm.
Yeah, all kind of so a microwave or a washing machine or a computer, a code, they take out non-value adding work.
Hmm.
So I believe that we are still on that journey, and AI therefore is a help for us to weed out non-value adding work,
Hmm.
and therefore get to really value adding and creative work. And that's where I see marketing also. Although in marketing world, AI has been discussed a lot. It has almost taken marketing world by storm, as is the case with every new trend. In fact, a lot of the brands have started featuring AI or AI conversations in their advertising.
Hmm.
Have you seen the latest five-star advertising?
No, it's with AI?
Not with AI. So it features a boy who is in the library trying to pick up books to develop future proof skills. And every book he picks up for coding or anything else, there's a news reporter who is nonchalantly declaring that AI will eat the jobs of coders, AI will do this. And finally, the brand makes a statement saying develop a skill that AI can't eat, which is doing nothing. So master the skill of doing nothing to remain future proof. So as is the case with marketers, we jump onto every new term, new technology in the bandwagon.
Hmm.
AI has done the same. For those who are uninitiated, they might think of AI as a recent phenomena, but all
Hmm.
of us know that machine learning has been around for some time.
Right.
It's just that the pace of machine learning has become better.
And the accessibility is also increased with that.
Correct, 100%. And we have now learned how to harness significant amount of data with good amount of sophistication.
So, if people are listening to our podcast, I would take a very, very clear guess that they have already used Chat GPT. They've tried the different image generators and all of that. I want us to go a little deeper here.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are the possibilities of AI in the role of marketing in a business?
Okay, let me start with the basic premise that I was putting when we started speaking about this. That was that AI will allow you to be more creative
Hmm.
and take away non-value adding tasks.
Right.
So from a marketer point of view, what are the key tasks that are non-value adding, right? beyond giving them specific experience in visual, uh, visual sense, etc. Maybe things like checking artworks, matching colors, etc. are things that are possibly non-value adding and can definitely be outsourced to any kind of artificial intelligence software. In the past, we have spoken about measure what you treasure, right?
Right.
And one of the simplest stimulus we spoke about was concept cards, right? So just to give you an example, if a marketer has some sort of a concept or some kind of a proposition in mind, it becomes fairly easy now for a marketer to generate a concept or an adcept out of a written statement.
Right. Just the
Yeah.
prompt is enough today.
Just the prompt is enough. So if you're doing good prompting, this is something that can be generated. Unless your brief is not very clear and you want to work with the agency to clarify the brief more, this can easily be done. So therefore, the marketer can cut down on all the development time, the briefing time to the agency, the clarification time, etc., etc. And instead, I believe that in the world of tomorrow, the marketer and the agency will sit together and decide on the prompt. Once the best prompt is decided, that's when the prompt will be given to the AI and the output will be there with them instantly. Yeah. So in fact, it can change the future of research, where you can do iterative research by changing prompts and generating options at that instant.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you need to be clear about the kind of prompt you want to give.
Correct.
And that is all about your marketing knowledge and
Correct.
your understanding of the problem that you're looking to address.
Correct. So
Brilliant.
That becomes one. Number two is, and all of this allows marketers to spend more time on being creative, on understanding their customers, understanding their real needs, desires, and therefore become better at their jobs. All of that are definite big advantages. I also feel, and especially for people who are slightly senior, you're looking at processes overall, and you're looking at their outputs.
Right.
Now, as a marketer, you're not working on the ground, so therefore there are a lot of people who are working on inputs provided by you and your colleagues, and therefore you're looking at an output in terms of delivered sales value or volume or some kind of surveys, etc. Now, each output is a function of efficiency and effectiveness of each part which is involved in that process.
Right.
Yeah. Efficiency is how efficiently it converts input into output.
Fair.
And effectiveness is how good is the input which is going into the process. Right. So therefore, where I've found AI useful is that wherever you are not doing too much value addition, you can eliminate human touch and thereby take out inefficiencies of motivation, distraction, discipline.
Feeling like it, not in the mood for it.
Yeah. So all of those can be taken out.
Right.
And those can be replaced by technology. And what that helps you do is that those cogs in that wheel or that process become supremely efficient.
Right.
There is no loss of efficiency. And hence, as a owner of the process, you can concentrate much more on the effectiveness. That whether my insight is right, whether it is striking the consumers at the right place in their heart, is it producing the right kind of reaction, how can I make it better, rather than wondering, did my media get delivered well, is my sales team pitching it properly, stuff like that. So all of those are cogs. Yeah.
Right.
Needless to say, there will be human involvement, at least in areas where there is some kind of value addition.
Right.
But at least you can become significantly more efficient.
Sure. So what this reminds me of is the episode of Your 5 Mistakes in Marketing.
Yeah.
And one of the points you mentioned was that people tend to act busy without doing too much productive work.
Yeah.
With AI coming in, the new marketing managers would not have the option of looking busy anymore, right?
You don't know, given how we have seen human psychology, we will find different ways of becoming busy. Yeah. whatever comes easy to us will become busy. If you've come from sales, you find significant comfort in looking at sales numbers.
Right.
Now, previously we were constructing sales numbers to look at them.
Hmm.
Now with dashboards, etc., those sales numbers might be available to you, but you would want second level, third level analytics to be done before
Right.
you start adding value. So we will find ways to be busy. Of course, AI allows you to be busy with something which is slightly more value adding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But there is no substitute to human laziness in that sense. If you want to be lazy, you can be.
There is
Right.
hope after all.
There's hope after all. Apart from this, Sharan, so first point I said was that it eliminates non-value adding work, thereby making marketers more productive, more creative. Number two, as owners of process, if there are 10 steps in your process, wherever you're not adding any value, eliminate human touch, try to replace it by technology, AI, etc. You might therefore be able to eliminate significant amount of inefficiency, and that allows you to focus on effectiveness through and through.
Got it.
Yeah. The last bit on this, Sharan, is that increasingly, because of digital penetration becoming higher every day, we have lots of data on our disposal. A lot of the time today is spent by us in turning that data into something which can be analyzed, which can be processed, etc.
Right.
And then you analyze that data to try and take intelligent decisions. With AI now and some of the work that has already happened on big data, you should be able to create some amount of models which will allow marketers to become fairly productive with big data very, very quickly. It will give you fertile ground, maybe even make some kind of cohorts for you, which you can then see, add value to, or it's just a database cohort. If you agree with it, then you can really spend time in understanding your consumers and building flesh around those bones.
Right. In fact, as an extension to what you just said, is the personalization angle also being used very well? Because I remember the Cadbury Celebrations ad, which started out one way, 1 year, I think, to 2020. And the next year, with Shah Rukh Khan mouthing different names and brand names, it went to a completely another level. How do you see that coming into the picture?
I think it's a lovely case of using AI for serving the brand purpose. Although I must say I have seen more poor examples of personalization than good ones. And poor examples mean that a lot of the times we think that hyper personalization means knowing my name and then throwing every offer at me. Yeah. So therefore the sort of emails that you get or the SMSs that you receive are all examples of this.
Right.
The advent of data has created significant amount of volume of lazy marketing. Yeah, just because you have my name does not give you the right to send everything my way by just pasting my name on it, right?
Right.
And there, usually my advice to all the marketers is that be very, very, very when it comes to hyper personalization. Yeah, and therefore the statement that I make to them is hyper empathize before you hyper personalize.
Wow. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So, there was somebody in one of the panels. I was there in PwC organized panel where somebody spoke about this, that they were looking for a phone for their mother. Somebody was doing that. Now, the person who is searching is 40 plus, but he's searching for his mother who is 70 plus. Now, therefore, when he was receiving all the inputs, when he started, he was receiving all kind of prompts which were for him, right? And then when he exited that site, on every damn social media site, he kept seeing those inputs, whereas none of these were relevant to him. After he went and checked for certain kind of phones that had big digits, big dials, etc., and he finalized his mother's something for his mother, then for the next 1 month he started receiving prompts about that particular phone or similar phones, which were again irrelevant to him because this was relevant to an occasion.
Right.
Yeah. So therefore, unfortunately for those marketers, they spent 2 months hyper personalizing a message which had zero impact on the TG.
Right.
Not only did it have zero impact, they also managed to turn off the TG.
Mm.
Yeah. And whereas it is supposed to be artificially intelligent, it was really stupid. Yeah. So therefore, I believe that there is significant amount of hyper empathization needed before one unleashes the hyper personalization tool,
Mm.
which means that what we have to simulate mental models
Mm.
of consumer decision making process
Right.
and empathize with every mental state that a consumer might have.
Mm.
Therefore, try to capture that state in as seamless manner as possible, and then create personalization for the consumer,
Mm.
where possibly you might also give the consumer a chance to edit where you possibly might be going wrong.
Oh, wow. You're looking at it as a two-way street with the
It's a
consumer.
two-way street. Yeah. Help them help you.
Mm.
Right.
Interesting.
So, and therefore, I believe that there's a lot more responsibility on us marketers to, really strip down all purchase decision making processes to be able to create hyper personalized campaigns.
Thank you for listening to CoBB, Conversations on the Business of Brands with Sudeep Chawla and Sharvana Raghavan. Subscribe and learn more at cobcast.net. That's CoBBCAST.net.
We are a little more than halfway through the episode.
Okay.
I haven't asked you the big question yet.
Which is?
Are marketers going to lose their job? Is marketing in organizations going to be driven completely by AI?
I don't think so, if you ask me. I think part of the answer was what I said earlier, that it will change the nature of job that marketers do. But you still, marketing is all about, empathizing or being hyper crazy about knowing your consumers. That job somebody has to do.
Right.
And when you understand your consumers, that enables you to create right kind of cohorts, create right kind of prompts, and create an iterative process where your proposition, whether it is a product or a service, keeps becoming better over a period of time.
Okay.
And therefore, I would like to put this concern at rest, that your job ain't going, but you better start upskilling.
I thought you were going to give them reassurance. You've just given them a bit of a warning. So let me push that question a little more.
Okay.
What are the real threats to a marketer in the AI world, as in the world with so much AI? What should a marketer be concerned about?
Okay. There are 4 or 5 of them that I would want to talk to everybody about. The first is that, as we have spoken thus far, there are a lot of use cases that AI can be put to. In fact, in one of these conferences, somebody approached me where they are also able to do sentiment analysis by listening to voice of a consumer.
Wow.
Yeah. So therefore, it is something that can be deployed in a call center, and therefore, they can feedback some amount of insights gathered by listening to a live call.
Right.
So there are lots of use cases. I think as marketers, we should always be on our toes to look at ways to improve efficiency and effectiveness. And hence, we owe it to our consumers and our organizations to keep abreast with all the new technologies and always keep thinking about their potential applications in your area of work. Yeah.
Okay.
So therefore, a real threat would possibly be being completely oblivious to all these changes. And maybe not learning or not experimenting with any of these tools at all.
Got it.
Yeah. So that, I think, is a problem, could be a problem. Second is, I think there is a real potential what I was talking about earlier also, that if AI starts generating cohorts or segmentation using data.
Hmm.
And then you have already decided what kind of messaging you want to give to each cohort. Therefore, AI can easily deploy.
Hmm.
And hence, that has a chance of making a marketer lazy. Marketers would be well served if they remember that their job is not to deploy marketing.
Hmm.
Their job is to design marketing.
What's the
Design,
difference, Sudeep? Could you walk us through that?
sure. So when we spoke about branding and marketing,
Hmm.
we said that branding is a set of promises made to the consumer and the efforts done to live those promises over and over again, fulfill those promises over and over again, right?
Right.
Marketing is the effort of taking those promises to a larger set of people,
Hmm.
right? Now, designing those promises and designing methods of taking those promises to people is the job of a
Marketer.
marketer.
Right.
Too often we think about the deployment side of it, which is, somebody crafts a message and gives it to me, then I'll, see how to get it delivered.
Hmm.
Right. And hence, my simple proposition to all marketers is that you own the segmentation, targeting, and positioning.
Hmm.
You should be the one who should be looking at data, use AI for data, use analytics, and let them suggest cohorts and segments. But basis the category that you are working in, as well as what your going in proposition is, you will be able to take better call on the sort of segments that you want to make.
Right.
Yeah. Again, basis data, AI might suggest which segment is the best one to target. Yeah, depending on size of price as well as ability to win. But again, the same thing. Since AI doesn't know what kind of proposition you're going to go in with and what is the kind of resonance that it might have with a certain target segment, you will need to take a call there. So in this one, I have an interesting way of putting it.
Hmm.
A lot of the times we speak about learning prompts
Right.
to enable AI.
Hmm.
How I see is AI generates prompts to enable marketers.
That's a lovely way of putting it.
Yeah. So therefore, use AI to get excellent quality prompts.
Hmm.
And otherwise, you are collecting those prompts by, going out to the consumer and generating them on your own. Now AI is there to help you.
Right. Don't do the agency bit. I'll ask a question for the agency bit. So finish the next point on capabilities. Then I'll ask you about the agency, and then you can go to agency bit.
Okay. Yeah.
No. All right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Next.
So therefore, understanding the role of AI
Hmm.
would help you become super efficient rather than becoming lazy. Right. The next bit is more about marketing leaders and possibly budding marketers also, that you should look at building AI capabilities, AI tool capabilities within your teams or within yourselves, which means what I was saying earlier, that you should keep yourself abreast, uh, uh, learn how to use any of these new AI tools that might be coming your way, learn prompts, yeah, or what they call as prompt engineering, so that you are able to make the best out of whatever tools are available to you. And only when you dive deeper would you be able to uncover use cases and applications that are relevant to your category and your brand. Otherwise, your organization would pay 7-figure sums to consultants to tell you the same thing. So it
Right.
is in everybody's interest that the marketing team, which is also termed as the headlight of the organization, keeps ahead of what is currently being applied within the organization and comes back with some potential use case applications that can be experimented with.
Got it. So I like the 4 elements you said, but I have another question. If AI is the prompt for marketers, marketers are figuring out how to synthesize information with AI and also building capabilities within the system. I remember you said the agency is the biggest support system for the marketer. You've said marketers' jobs are safe. can AI now replace the agency completely for the marketers?
I would again say that the job of agency would also become value added.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe when we look at an agency which has three components to it, which is the servicing side, the creative side, and then there is the planning side,
Right.
right? And then there is the back end of the agency that really works on, artworks and does all of that job. Again, whatever is non value adding within each one of these jobs might not be needed to be done. So the back end side, the studio side of the agency, where you need to make small changes to the artwork, add one factory address, delete another factory address, etc., might get outsourced.
Right.
And rightfully so. It's perfectly fine. There is not much intelligence or value addition that is needed in that particular process. Similarly, the planning guys, once they are partnering the branding team, and we spoke about this earlier, that they are the real brand custodians. Brand managers keep coming and going, but the agency remains consistent. Now, for them to be able to create decks or presentations, they should be able to use AI. They don't need to spend umpteen number of hours. They spend a lot of time submitting award entries. Now, why shouldn't there be a generative AI that allows them to craft those entries, and they should only do some value addition here and there, right?
Absolutely.
It's a repetitive work.
Yeah, it's an extremely mundane part of being on the agency side, filling out these award forms.
Yeah. No, it is rewarding, but a lot of it is repetitive, and they have to do it every year. So therefore, I'm sure somebody can, really engineer this.
Right.
Similarly, the servicing guys, they create a service network that this is what we'll do, then this is what we'll do. AI will easily create Gantt chart out of this very quickly, and it can generate status reports every day. So what I wanted to say was that, as is true for marketers, same is true for agencies.
Right.
It will allow agencies to also do value-added work, thereby increasing the efficiency of marketers even better.
Right. I think this is one of the most interesting episodes, even for me, just to record, Sudeep, because AI itself has been extremely fascinating. I'm not a tech guy, but I'm fascinated with how much tech can do. And I have been getting my hands dirty, trying one tool after the other and paying a whole lot of money for it, while you can actually do a lot of it for free. So just to sum up all that we've discussed today, in a nutshell, AI has got a lot of possibilities, and it's amongst the biggest revolutions that we've seen in our lifetime as far as technology is concerned. And this is not about replacing human work or humans at work. It is about enhancing their work, getting them to do better work and enabling them to do better work, like technology has always done through the evolution of mankind. Now, as far as marketing is concerned, marketers' jobs are safe, but they need to leverage AI to stay relevant, because AI is going to help them become brutally efficient. All the mundane, boring, repetitive tasks can now be delegated to AI, and marketers can actually live the creative life by adding value and building thought leadership on the brands and the categories that they work on. One pointer you mentioned was hyper personalization is very possible with AI, but don't be mad about it. Don't do it for the heck of it. Use personalization with empathy. So therefore, the word hyper empathize with your customers with AI, not just hyper personalize. I love that line. And you said it's going deeper on why marketers' jobs are not in threat. I think we covered about saying marketers who can handle AI, who can learn AI, who can learn how to use AI and be abreast of the latest in technology, will always be ahead of the marketers who don't. And this also kinds of puts the marketers in a place where they can be lazy and delegate a whole lot to the AI. But there are certain parts of the brand, like your segmentation, targeting, positioning, which remains the purview of the marketer. That's where you make the decisions. So use AI well. And you said teams are building AI capabilities. So now larger businesses must invest in building their own AI systems so that their businesses become more efficient. And my favorite was that even the agency is not going to lose their job. And they're going to stay even more relevant to the marketers in the support system by just using AI for the mundane stuff. Because AI, in a nutshell, is about synthesizing information, while the decisions and the actual interpretation of the analysis remains human. And I'm not sure if that's going to go away, but it looks like humans will always have a role to play.
Correct. Oh, well summarized, Sharan. On a parting note, now that you've summarized this, you work with a lot of small businesses,
Right.
right? Now, what do you think is the impact of AI or AI tools for small businesses?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that question, because I have been pushing my clients to start using AI products, because what AI does is that it's not exactly evening the playing field, but it's significantly equaling the playing field versus what it was earlier, where the smaller businesses are so short of resources and people, and AI fills that gap significantly. Because I meet a lot of entrepreneurs who have the thinking very right, but they struggle on issues of bandwidth and not having a team around them. And it's not like it's going to replace the people that could have been hired, but for those entrepreneurs, it's going to make them again a lot more efficient. So I think there's going to come. I mean, there already is coming a divide where businesses that are able to use AI and businesses that are not able to use AI. And the businesses that find a way to use AI faster and better are actually going to be the ones who are going to challenge the larger businesses. Because I see this being driven by the leadership and not by anybody else. Because everybody else is playing around with it. It is the leadership that has to drive it. And that's why I keep talking to my clients all the time about using AI in what they do.
Excellent. So what your encouragement to smaller businesses is to use an experiment so that they can cover some distance.
Absolutely.
Okay. Excellent.
One parting line.
Yeah.
When we did the Narayan interview on the show, we used an AI generated character to do the intros and the outros.
Correct.
I'm going to link that into this episode. Let's see what people think of it.
Excellent. Do that. Thank you, Sharan.
Thank you for listening to CoBB, Conversations on the Business of Brands with Sudeep Chawla and Sharan Raghavan. Subscribe and learn more at cobcast.net. That's CoBBcast.net.